And I'm Jean-Marc Prasad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. The U.S. removal of Nicolas Maduro and his wife sparks regional concern as leaders question the legality and experts warn of serious fallout.
Meanwhile, Maduro and his wife plead not guilty in New York City as Delcy Rodriguez is sworn in as Venezuela's acting president.
Transport Commissioner rejects claims that motorists who fail to renew their driver's permits will be denied a 10-year license.
Coming up in sport, meet the Trinidad and Tobago teenager at the tip of the spear as the West Indies under-19s jet off on another World Cup quest.
The warm and dry days continue. I'll have this week's outlook in tonight's weather report.
Just days after his dramatic removal from Caracas, Nicolas Maduro has pleaded not guilty in a New York court to drugs and weapons charges.
The U.S. operation that brought him there continues to cause concern across the Caribbean, with leaders and experts warning of dangerous consequences for sovereignty, security, and regional stability.
Doris Polo has this story.
Deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was arraigned in a New York court on drugs and weapons charges on Monday, pleading not guilty, days after his dramatic removal from Caracas in a U.S.-led operation that has sent shockwaves across the Caribbean. The unprecedented move has triggered sharp regional concern, with leaders questioning the legality of the action and its implications for sovereignty, stability, and security in the hemisphere. In Dominica, Prime Minister Roosevelt Scarrett urged restraint.
Dominica reiterates its call for the rule of law to be observed and for ongoing diplomatic efforts to ensure Venezuela's stability, good governance, democracy, and peace.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, opposition leader Dr. Ralph Gonsalves criticized CARICOM's muted response after the U.S. attack, arguing the regional bloc failed to confront what he described as a clear breach of international law by the United States. He also said CARICOM's statement fell short of warning Caribbean citizens about the potential consequences of a destabilized Venezuela should the U.S. put boots on the ground.
A lot of people are going to get killed. A lot of people are going to run out of Venezuela, good and bad people, and you only need a handful of bad men and women to come to any of these islands to create mayhem.
As regional leaders weigh their response, international relations experts warn the fallout could be far-reaching. International relations professor at the University of the West Indies, Professor Mikhail Powinski, says the removal of a sitting head of state violates established global norms and sets a dangerous precedent. He adds that increased tensions could lead to skirmishes in Venezuela that can negatively impact the wider Caribbean, including TNT. Mexican journalist and political analyst Jose Luis Granado Ceja described the episode as part of a wider pattern of U.S. intervention in the region, and he warned the government to choose its allies wisely.
She's unfortunately played into this game, even more recently talking about how there are people in the region with narco-trafficking ties, kind of a not so subtle commentary on other leaders in the region trying to position herself and her government as being an ally of the United States. But as we just finished saying, that is not a safe strategy. I think that the wise decision is to proceed very cautiously. Just because you are on the side of Donald Trump today does not mean that that will be the case in the future.
And IR fellow Dr. Joshua Philip Walcott said Trinidad and Tobago's cautious posture reflects uncertainty over how Venezuela's political transition will unfold.
It's still early days, right? The next 48 hours, the next week is really important to see what will come out on the other side. You know, is there a military coup? Is there a descent into chaos? Do we see cartels start running the roost, let's say, in Venezuela?
Questions were posed to the Prime Minister following Maduro's arraignment, including whether she supports the comment from the UN Secretary General that Donald Trump broke international law, if she was concerned that what happened to Venezuela can happen in another part of the Caribbean, and her thoughts on Maduro's not guilty plea. She did not respond up to news time. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
Well, Delcy Rodriguez, who served as Vice President of Venezuela, was sworn in today as acting President of the Bolivarian Republic.
The swearing-in ceremony took place before the new leadership of the National Assembly, headed by Jorge Rodriguez at the Federal Legislative Palace, where the parliament was installed today for the 2026-2031 term.
As she was sworn in, Rodriguez again denounced what she called U.S. military aggression, promising to guarantee a government of well-being and social and political stability.
Vengo con dolor por el secuestro.
I come with sorrow for the kidnapping of two heroes we have as hostages in the USA, our President Nicolas Maduro and Celia Flores. But I also come with honor to swear in the name of all Venezuelans by our liberator, Father Simón Bolívar.
En nombre de todos los venezolanos y en nombre de todas las venezolanas, vengo a jurar por nuestro Padre Libertador, Simón Bolívar.
Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has warned Rodriguez of severe consequences if she does not cooperate with the United States.
Nicolas Maduro Guerras, the son of Nicolas Maduro, is warning that the U.S. military operation, which captured his father and First Lady Celia Flores in Caracas, could set a precedent for similar actions against other countries. Speaking at the installation of Venezuela's National Assembly, he warned that no country is safe. According to him, today it's Venezuela. Tomorrow, it could be any nation that refuses to submit. Maduro Guerra said the operation violated Venezuela's sovereignty. Describing his father's capture as a kidnapping, he called for international solidarity to secure his return.
Well, as the United Nations convened an Emergency Security Council meeting on the U.S. military operation in Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago's ambassador to the UN, Dr. Neil Parson, made it clear that this country values its strong partnership with Washington in fighting transnational crime and safeguarding regional security. The ambassador's remarks came as the council convened urgently in New York to address the U.S. removal of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro from Caracas. Mexico, Cuba, Colombia, Brazil and Chile called the action a violation of the UN Charter and a threat to multilateralism, while Panama urged democratic transition in Venezuela and Argentina backed U.S. pressure. Meanwhile, Russia and China both condemned the U.S. for what it called illegal bullying against Venezuela. In his contribution, this country's ambassador, Dr. Parsons, stressed that TNT remains equally committed to maintaining peaceful relations with Venezuela.
The delegation of Trinidad and Tobago wishes to underscore its long-standing relationship with both the United States and Venezuela and stands ready to work collaboratively with all partners who share the aspiration of a safer, more prosperous and stable hemisphere.
UN Chief Antonio Guterres told ambassadors there must be respect for national sovereignty, political independence and territorial integrity after warning on Saturday that the U.S. had set a dangerous precedent for the world order.
That the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. authorities has raised cautious hope among Venezuelan migrants in South Trinidad, but many remain unconvinced that conditions at home will improve.
Some Venezuelan migrants living in Cedros have been returning to their home country over the past 2 weeks. However, locals could not say whether those who left over the weekend decided to leave TNT following Saturday's arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. As the news team visited the coastal community today, the area was scarce with only a few Waro migrants seen along Icacos Beach. Fishermen say the migrants who usually work along the beach had been picked up by a contractor for some onshore work. Carlos Panchori said, although some migrants have left, many have stayed.
We serve here, Cedros Venezuelans. They're going back now. They came back yesterday. In fact, last weekend. To the port of entry, they went back. But some still remain on the way. The ones that came up 2 years ago remain here until this incident happened.
Venezuelan migrant Joel Cedeno said some migrants left to visit their families for the Christmas season, but a mass return home was unlikely.
Cedeno, who has lived in Trinidad and Tobago for 7 years, said fears surrounding powerful figures such as Diosdado Cabello continue to deter migrants from returning home. His daughter said Venezuelans abroad believe the wider ruling cabinet must also be removed before meaningful change can occur.
Well, on the back of that story, today we asked, do you think the United States removal of Nicolas Maduro is justified?
Here's what some of you had to say.
The America is an unfair place, so, wherever them want to do, they're doing it. So, they see an easy prey, so they're going in the man place to do what they have to do, to interfere with the man things, but nothing more than oil they want.
I'm not sure about that. There are other consequences that need to be answered. I suppose in a few days we will find out what's going to happen.
No. I understand that, he might have his reasons for thinking that, he could take Maduro or whatever, but from my perspective, at the end of the day, he is United States president, and whatever goes on in Venezuela has nothing to do with him. Yes, I understand the trading and the parties or whatever, but I think if there's a problem with Maduro, I think if we can express our complaints and concerns, but at the end of the day, he has no right to try to capture Maduro, as they said, because he is also breaking international laws by the way he did it and doing these things. It's not his place to do.
It is left to be seen. I cannot do a prediction at this time. We don't know if it will be good or it will be bad. So we have to wait and see.
No, it was unfair. They just jumped in somebody's place and take the leader. That don't sound good. So it could happen to anybody anywhere. They could do what they want. So leave the bully, let the bully alone, right?
Yeah, I would think so. It was justified.
Despite lifting restrictions that banned U.S. carriers from flying in certain parts of the Caribbean, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration is today warning operators to exercise caution. In an update to its notices to airmen, the FAA warns pilots to exercise caution at all altitudes due to military activity. The notices say threats can pose a potential risk to aircraft, including during overflight, the arrival and departure phases of flight. The safety notice is in effect until February 2nd. Meanwhile, a separate safety advisory for the Piarco Flight Information Region remains active. It warns of possible GPS interference and is set to expire on January 19th.
Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association President Reginald McLean says cancellations continue following regional airspace disruptions, but there's no panic among visitors on the island.
McLean says hotels across Tobago have been receiving cancellations and rebooking requests, even as U.S. airlines work to restore their full operating schedule following developments involving Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. He adds while the situation is still unfolding, most visitors currently on the island are going about their business as usual.
McLean admits the industry is in a wait-and-see mode as operators try to assess how long the disruptions may last and what impact they could have on occupancy levels.
We have not had a single problem here, barring the cancellations that have started coming in. Our guests are all going about their business as normal. When you talk to people, some people are not even aware of what's happening and they're not too concerned. The only concern they have, of any, is whether or not they have a flight to go home.
McLean notes there is no reason for fear, adding that Tobago must continue business as usual while monitoring developments in the region.
Well, still to come in the news, Nutrien workers get temporary reprieve, staff told to report to work as usual.
As the THA election heats up, TPP candidate threatens jail time for PNM's Ansel Dennis and Kwesi Devines over alleged road contract corruption.
Coming up in sport, Eastern Connect FC stuns Wallerfield United in the East-West Corridor Football League.
Embrace the power of rare medical-grade Manuka honey with Manuka Derm. It is effective for dermatitis to soothe inflammation and relieve itchiness. 4 burns, apply 1 to 2 times daily for optimal healing. For psoriasis and eczema, Manuka Derm hydrates and moisturizes the skin. It reduces scaling and speeds recovery for xerosis. Even for acne, it balances pH, exfoliates, and fights bacteria. Unlock the healing benefits of Manuka Derm today. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
This is John. John has just opened a new restaurant and is already questioning his life choices. Observe his eyes. He's trying the open wide to stay awake technique. John worries about many things like that overpriced stove, but there's one thing John doesn't stress about: his investments. First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for almost 2 decades. Invest with us.
Workers at Nutrien's Trinidad and Tobago operations have received a temporary reprieve after the company confirmed no termination letters were issued and employees should continue reporting to work. CNC3 News had reported workers could receive termination notices today, but Nutrien later clarified jobs remain intact for now, despite the ongoing shutdown of its nitrogen operations. In an internal letter, Nutrien executive Edmund Thompson said employees' terms and conditions remain unchanged while the company continues discussions on a long-term solution. While production remains halted, work is continuing at the Point Lisas plant to maintain basic operability at an estimated cost of about $2 million per month. The pause offers short-term relief for hundreds of workers amid a dispute with the national gas company following the expiration of Nutrien's gas supply contract at the end of 2025.
With just days to go before Election Day, the political temperature in Tobago is rising.
That's right, Ria. From verbal clashes to sharp accusations, the campaign has now entered its final week.
Elizabeth Gonzalez has this story.
The tone for what is to come was set over the weekend. A TPP candidate signaling she is ready for a fight.
This is test week. They tried me yesterday, but you know me. All you know me, I built for this. My back broad.
A warning from Hackett following a heated confrontation days earlier. It was a verbal clash over the removal of party flags in Plymouth between PNM and TPP supporters, with Hackett in the middle. Hours later, on the PNM platform in Bethel, the language turned sharper. Former Tobago West MP questioned why, out of all 41 constituencies, Tobago was chosen for a U.S. military radar and base.
It's interesting how they had all that back for Rowley and the PNM, but you either have to watch your tone, and in most cases, you can't say a word. Just take the thumping from Kamla and the UNC. So no folly. Don't talk to me and don't talk to Tobagonians from your political pulpit. I want you to take that same energy to Kamla, express to her how Tobagonians really feel about the radar, and tell her exactly where to put it.
Meanwhile, TPP candidate Trevor James threatened jail time for PNM political leader Ansel Dennis and PNM Mason Hall candidate Kwesi Devines over alleged corruption.
You have a financial trained specialist who we will give these files to ensure that when Kwesi jump in, he might jump straight into a jail cell. I want to save the real corruption for Thursday night.
Hours after James made the accusations, PNM Minority Leader Kelvin Morris today accused James of doing the very thing he is accusing the PNM of, signing off on contracts leading up to Election Day. And Dennis says James should be the one worried about jail.
I've never been accused of acting illegally where the discharge of my public responsibilities is concerned. The same cannot be said for Mr. James.
With just 7 days to go, both parties say they expect the campaign to get dirty, accusing each other of desperation. Elizabeth Gonzalez, CNC3 News.
Political scientist Dr. Mukesh Basdew is cautioning against viewing the January 12th poll through the same lens as the 2021 THA election, arguing that Tobago's political landscape has since shifted. Over 4 years ago, Tobago experienced 2 elections in quick succession. The first resulted in a hung assembly with then People's Democratic Patriots and the PNM winning an equal number of seats. That outcome triggered electoral boundary changes, expanding the assembly from 12 to 15 seats, followed by a second election. It led to several close results and subsequently the PDP's landslide victory. However, Dr. Basdew contends that the conditions which produced that result no longer exist.
4 years back, there was a clear fight between the 2 major parties, the PDP and the PNM. This year, however, what we have seen is that the fight is now with the TPP, the PNM, other minor parties, but one absent being the PDP.
Both the PNM's Ansel Dennis and TPP's Keegan Denoon say they are both confident of securing the Buku Mount Pleasant seat for their respective political party.
In business news, the economic downturn has claimed 2 casualties in Trinidad and Tobago's business landscape, with Movietown shuttering its Tobago cinema and the Home Store closing its Chaguanas branch.
And shifting social dynamics are also taking a bite out of consumer spending, with KFC reporting a flattening of sales in recent months.
Geisha Carlos Alonso has the details in tonight's Business Watch.
Movietown has pulled the plug on its Tobago operations as of January 4th. This was confirmed by its founder and chairman, Derek Chin, who explained to Business Watch on Monday how the branch struggled for years to stay afloat.
There's never been a profitable, we ran it there, we tried, there's reduced prices, every kind of things, but they don't seem to be into moving in the way we thought they would be as normal. So, we never got to a level that it was economically viable. But we persevered, we tried, and then we realized, it doesn't make sense because for us to restart it again, if you know what I mean, we have to refurbish. And that is going to be too expensive to refurbish, change projectors.
Meanwhile, the Home Store has announced the closure of its Chaguanas branch located in Pennywise Plaza, effective Monday, January 5th, 2026. In a notice on social media on Monday, the company cited the continued decline in the economy as the primary reason for the decision. The closure marks a significant shift for the home goods retailer, which has maintained a presence in Chaguanas for several years. In other business news, between global political tensions and local social issues, the average consumer is thinking twice before tapping their card. This as KFC has witnessed a slowing in consumer spend in the past couple months, says Roger Rambrose, Vice President of KFC and Pizza Hut.
I think consumer spending, in light of everything that is going around, the social, political issues, persons are being a bit cautious. Generally, traffic on the whole, we have seen not a significant fall off from prior year, but a more of a flattening of traffic. And obviously, less money, a lot of uncertainty with job losses and so on.
However, Rambrose says for KFC, the slowdown isn't necessarily a setback, as the company continues to innovate to cater to the needs and pockets of its consumers. He spoke to Business Watch at the official launch of KFC's Carnival campaign, which took place on the Brian Lara Promenade in Port of Spain on Monday. And now for a look at today's energy and forex prices. Geisha Carlos Alonso, CNC3 Business Watch.
The Children's Authority is tonight denying that the Cyril Ross Children's Home closed due to licensing delays. In a media release, Director Sheldon Cyrus said the home held a conditional license up to its voluntary closure on December 31st. This allowed the home to operate and provide residential care to children with HIV and AIDS. Last week, National President of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, Nigel Phillips, told CNC3 News, after 3 years of improving the space based on the authority's requirements, they still did not obtain a license. He added it became too expensive for the home to remain open. Cyrus said efforts were made to prevent closure, but the society insisted it was just not viable. He acknowledged the home's 3 decades of service and noted the society could apply for future licensure if it wishes to reopen. After days of waiting, Minister Vandana Mohit confirmed her ministry is ensuring the authority enforces compliance rules for children's homes while remaining open to stakeholder collaboration.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Workers walk out at the Education Ministry claiming mold has taken over the building.
We had mostly sunny conditions today, just the odd shower near the western coastline of Trinidad. Also, given the dry conditions we've been having, we'll take a look at the reservoir levels coming up just after the break.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinidad for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinidad.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinidad. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinidad.com today. Trinidad, premier insurance coverage for less.
Get the best back-to-school specials at Southern Food Baskets. Lentil, £2 for $13.95. Red beans, £2, $19.95. Swiss Econopack ketchup, 750 ml, 3 for $19.95. Chubby, 3 cases for $100. Cool Kids, 2 cases for $100. Cheetos, 1.25 ounces, 4 for $19.95. Richport tuna flakes, 3-pack, $14.95. Richport vegetable oil, 3 liters, $39.95. Offers available while stocks last.
Meet baby Max and his friends. Growing up strong means getting the right nutrients. That's where Astamin C comes in, packed with essential amino acids and vitamin C to support healthy growth, brain development, strong bones and muscles, better immunity and appetite in picky eaters. Just 7 drops a day in milk, juice or directly by mouth. Simple, effective and nutrient-rich. Give your little one the boost they need to thrive. Astamin C, healthy growth made easy. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Confusion and frustration at licensing offices today as motorists say they were blindsided by hefty late fees when renewing their driver's permits.
Workers are claiming they only learned of the changes hours before, but the Transport Minister insists the penalties were announced weeks ago. K. Marie Fletcher reports.
It is not on the system. The late fee is not on the system, but they are still taking it. So we don't know what it is really going on.
Tensions mounted at the licensing office in Port of Spain on Monday as dozens of motorists said they were blindsided by unexpected late penalties when attempting to renew their driver's permits.
I have children. I have to buy books for my children, right? I have a house to run, right? Driving is not a necessity, right? Driving will take you from point A to point B. And what kind of money you have to pay just to renew your license? You understand? That is failure. You understand? That is failure. So now this 2,000, now they're saying something, right? You know how long I going to take to make this 2,000? I working basically for $250 a day. You understand? So you check that. This is not fair to a human being. You understand? From $875 to $2,000, that is not fair.
And I have my ticket here to show that is 11 MAPI, right? Which is not right. And if it's something that they're implementing a new thing, they're supposed to let the public know so that we know what we are coming to do. But you can see that it was just a makeshift thing because they had nothing in place, right, for the change that they made.
According to a release from the Transport Commissioner, there is a $600 penalty for persons with permits expired up to 6 months, $1,000 up to 3 years, and beyond that, the penalties go up to $3,500. Motorists at the Caroni office said they were also left in the dark.
They told you all about the late fees yet?
No. Yeah, they don't tell me about that.
And how long have you been here?
Since morning.
And when is the first time you found out about the late fee?
About lunchtime, yeah, when you reach.
Off camera, one employee told CNC3 News that workers were only informed of the changes on Sunday via their cell phones. However, when CNC3 News reached out to the Transport Minister, he said this is nothing new. According to him, the penalties were announced since early December.
There was always a fee for permits that expired. There was always a fee. Even prior to the increase, there was a fee. So it's not a new fine. Regarding the staff stating that they were not aware, they were aware of the increases, and regarding persons saying they was not aware, this was in the Finance Bill 2025 that was in both houses of Parliament in early December.
Both the Minister and the Transport Commissioner also denied rumors that persons who had late penalties were denied from renewing their license up to 10 years. K. Marie Fletcher, CNC3 News.
Well, as schools reopen today for the second academic term, Form 1 students in about 62% of schools are still awaiting laptops.
Distribution began in November and has already reached over 50 schools. Permanent Secretary Claudel McKellar says the next tranche will be delivered between January 8th and 13th. Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlatt assured parents that principals will provide updates as the rollout continues, stressing the laptop program is a priority and the nation will be formally notified once it is complete. During the 3-week school break, the ministry completed 82 repair projects, 35 under the vacation program and 47 at ECCE centers, primary and secondary schools.
Employees attached to the Education Ministry are today refusing to work, citing an ongoing mold infestation throughout the building, which they say has persisted for the past 3 years. Workers from the ministry's Port of Spain office, known as Tower B, which houses the Finance and Accounts Division, who asked to remain anonymous, say the situation has become unbearable, raising serious health concerns. They claim they are frustrated after being advised to clean the mold themselves.
You are advised to just wipe the desk, right? So, I mean, I guess it could fill in the blanks. So, and wear a mask. That does not deal with the root issue.
OSHA would have told the ministry on, as far as I could recall, 3 occasions. They visited both Building A and Building B, visited the specific departments that were affected by what they call mold-like substance, because they would have said that they don't have the power to come in and shut down the ministry. They could just make recommendations, and it's up to PS and
The Education Ministry's permanent secretary acknowledged an ongoing air conditioning issue at the ministry, which he says contributed to the current conditions, and the ministry is actively working to resolve.
While our questions to Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlatt went unanswered, former Minister Dr. Nian Gasby-Dolly says she has not been acting in that role for the past 8 months, but says that any such issue brought to her attention was dealt with urgently.
Jean-Marc's back with us. Jean-Marc, we're 5 days into January. No sign of the dry season being declared as yet.
No, not yet. Not quite yet, but we are in a transitional period, and the dry season is usually declared in January. So we'll be looking forward to that very soon. Now, speaking of the dry season, let's take a look at some of those reservoir levels. Starting with Tobago, they've had above average rainfall in December, and this fortunately translated to a 99.9% reservoir level at Hillsborough. However, in Trinidad, days with heavy rainfall have been relatively scarce since the beginning of December. Just after those rainfall events, all levels were at 100%, but they are now in the mid to upper 90s, which is still a relatively good position to be in as we look forward to the upcoming dry season. And speaking of which, the Met Office has not declared it yet, but let's take a look at what actually triggers that declaration. Strong winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Also, a high pressure system should be anchored closer to us, Trinidad and Tobago, and that usually has a knock-on effect. Only then will we experience stronger winds, which will in turn produce rough seas. Now, most of these are in a transitional phase, but one feature that we have already observed is the ITCZ migrating south of us, which have recently and commonly shown on the satellite images. So we're basically almost there. Taking a look at the satellite now, off to our east, there's not that many clouds, meaning there's a lot of relatively dry air still to come this week. The only area that may give us some rainfall is this area to the corner of your screen here. We'll be looking for a slight increase in showers on Thursday. So the forecast for tonight is for mostly clear and cool conditions. Overnight lows of 22 in Trinidad and 24 in Tobago. Tomorrow, the dry conditions are expected to continue as we'll have a mostly sunny day with the very low chance of an isolated shower favoring the afternoon and the evening. We may also have a light breeze at times, but conditions should be relatively warm with a high of 32 degrees. You can also expect similar weather for the remainder of the week despite some minimal Saharan dust on Thursday. Seas are slight to moderate with waves in open waters between 1 and 1.5 meters with relatively calm conditions in sheltered areas. And we can expect these same conditions to continue for the week. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Looking ahead, mostly sunny for the majority of the week with, again, the possibility of some showers on Thursday and Saturday in the forecast. Highs between 31 and 32 degrees Celsius and lows between 22 and 23. So relatively cool nights and warm days. I also managed to look ahead at the projections for next week, and we may be in for some breezy conditions and the possibility of some rough seas. So enjoy the good sea conditions while they last. I'm not sure if any of my co-anchors will take a quick run to the beach this week or maybe the weekend.
Doesn't look possible, not right now.
No, but it does look like good weather to be outside. Maybe we'll take a walk through Port of Spain. You never know.
Okay, very nice.
Thank you so much, John Mark. Well, let's tell you what's still to come in the news. 2 suspects remain in police custody as murdered fire officer is laid to rest.
Get the best back-to-school specials at Southern Food Baskets. Anchor cheddar and vegetarian cheese, 250 grams, 2 for $44.95. Golden brand margarine, 227 grams, 3 for $19.95. Wings, 1 kg, $29.95. Protect soap, 3-pack, $18.95. Colgate Great Regular Flavor, 4 ounces, 2 for $29.95. Soft and Pretty bathroom tissue, 12-pack for $18.95. Offers available while stocks last.
A mortgage is what helps you turn your dream of owning a home into reality. First Citizens helps you plan for every other cost, such as insurance, maintenance, and utilities. Mortgages build equity, offer long-term investment, and give you freedom to make the space yours. First Citizens is here to help you understand your first steps to a mortgage. First Citizens.
Are you living with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes? Manage it with the unique Jameson 100% complete multivitamin with 400 micrograms of chromium to lower blood glucose, lutein for your eyes, B vitamins for energy, vitamin C and lycopene for antioxidant support. Take a step towards a healthier tomorrow and make the proactive switch to Jameson today.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, Endeavor, Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Get the best back-to-school specials at Southern Food Baskets. Gala apples, 10 for $20. Tyson chicken leg quarters, 11 pounds, $94.95. Sunland chicken breast, 4 pounds, $94.95. Forte Frost straight cut fries, 2 for $69.95. Swiss Spouch ketchup, 2 for $19.95. Swiss macaroni and spaghetti, 400 grams, 4 for $19.95. Swiss lasagna, 2 for $23.95. Aquapure, 330 ml, 5 cases for $90. Offers available while stocks last.
Relatives of murdered fire officer Bruce Lazama are urging parents and the authorities to do their part in addressing violent crime. Lazama's body was found at the bottom of a precipice off Blanchisseuse Road, Arima, on December 30th, just days after he was reportedly abducted. At a memorial service at the Arima Tennis Club today, Lazama's older brother urged parents to do their part in monitoring their children, as he lamented that wayward youths often contribute to crime in the country.
When you have your young children outside midnight in the night, these are the people you'll communicate with and these are the people you'll befriend. And at the end of the day, they'll end up in crime. You know, so parents have a lot to do with it. Politicians have a lot to do with it. I mean, when you look at the politics in Trinidad, politicians seem to spend more time attacking each other than trying to make the country a better place for people to be safe.
His brother said despite the grief of Lazama's murder, he's pleased with the response of the police and their support for the family.
As of this evening, 2 suspects remain in police custody for Lazama's murder, as homicide investigators are expected to approach the DPP sometime this week.
All right, let's hand you over now to Jassy Marique, who's standing by with sport. Jassy?
Yeah, who does it better than Kishon Walcott? His Golden Grassroots Track and Field Series gets going again. And regionally, Guyana prepares to make a serious leap forward toward sporting advancement. Stick around, we'll give you the details and much more after the break.
Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket. Get it all at Southern Food Basket. Fresh goods on every aisle with best prices. For the best market around, high quality meat pound for pound. Get the best for let's start shopping. Go to Southern Food Basket. Shopping how you like it. High quality at the best prices. Every aisle just right and special. So spend less at Southern Food Basket. Good food at great prices for sure. Come get what you're looking for.
At Guardian General Insurance, we know your home is more than just a building. It's where your family feels safe and where memories are made. That's why we're here to protect not just your house, but the people and dreams inside it. We are your partner, working alongside you to provide the right protection, the right support, and the peace of mind you deserve. With Guardian General Insurance, you can live safe, live easy.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services. Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh-cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order.
Get the best back-to-school specials at Southern Food Baskets. Lentil, £2 for $13.95. Red beans, £2, $19.95. Swiss Econopack ketchup, 750 ml, 3 for $19.95. Chubby, 3 cases for $100. Cool Kids, 2 cases for $100. Cheetos, 1.25 ounces, 4 for $19.95. Richport tuna flakes, 3-pack, $14.95. Richport vegetable oil, 3 liters, $39.95. Offers available while stocks last.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Welcome back. It's time for sport now. The West Indies under-19 team is scheduled to depart the Grantley Adams Airport in Barbados on Tuesday on their way to the ICC Under-19 World Cup in Zimbabwe and Namibia. The lone Trinidadian in the team, Presentation College Chaguanas fast bowler Adian Racha, spoke with CNC3 before the departure, and he could barely hide his excitement with making his World Cup debut.
From 15 years of age, young Adian Racha from Rio Claro was opening the batting for Southeast Zone. Now 4 years later, the fast bowler is the spearhead of the Trinidad and Tobago under-19 team's attack and led Presentation College San Fernando to the treble in 2023. Now he's set to introduce himself to the world in Africa next month. The young fast bowler, who was called up to the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force 13-man squad in 2025, is ready to use the experience he gained over the years to help West Indies win another under-19 title.
Being around the players, the professionals, some of the players, I get amongst the likes of Coach Real, Joshua De Silva, Kyrie P, Jaden Seals and stuff like that. So as a young player, I would probably just try to absorb as much information as possible
The fast bowler credits his parents for their different but valuable roles in his development and helping him emerge with an ideal balance on and off the field.
She was always the one with the academic, pushing me academically, and I was always the one, like with sports, always carrying me training and stuff. Most of my training and stuff has been in the afternoon time when he finished work. So he'd always carry me training on the ground to train after he worked, whether it be in the night, sometimes. So whenever it's training and stuff, it's daddy, and academic is strictly mommy.
West Indies will leave Barbados on Tuesday to head to the ICC Under-19 World Cup that will take place from January 15. The West Indies won the 2016 tournament in Bangladesh with a 5-wicket win over India. Racha and company will hope the region rallies around them as they go for a second title. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Some track and field now. The second edition of Kishore Walcott's Golden League Athletics Series got out the blocks over the weekend at the Eddie Hart Savannah in Tacarigua. And the showcase of young talent brought the best out of several speedsters, especially over 60 meters.
On a brilliant first Sunday of the year, Keyshawn Walcott was back on mission, presenting the next wave of athletes with a gilt-edged chance to compete and be seen in the first Golden League meet of 2026.
Interest has been good. Everybody has been anticipating the competitions coming back for a second year round. Last year we had an average of maybe 300, 350 athletes. This year we had almost 500 for the first competition. So yeah, I think as you can see, there's a lot of athletes out here ready to run and ready to go. So I think it will be a good first competition.
As support ramped up trackside, National Association of Athletics Administration's president, Ephraim Surratt, took his chance to get an early look at the talent on display. IG Fastlane's Tamia Glasgow was this season's first winner in the girls under-9 60 meters, crossing the line in 10.59 seconds. Trackblazers Janaya Saunders was second in 10.62, and Anastasia Pamphil of Pace and Performance was third in 10.93. There was a smaller field in Section 1 of the boys U9 60, but QRC Athletics' Ezekiel Graham was laser-focused on his way to the W, crossing the line in 9.45 seconds. Fastlane's Aidan Baird won Section 2 and was second in 9.81. Simplex Athletics' Tyler Robinson followed in bronze position in 10.52 seconds. Azalea Waldron led a Cougars track and field 1-2 in the girls U11 60 in an impressive 9.11 seconds. Clubmate Amira Green was second in 9.31, while Pace and Performance's Samara Moses was third overall in 9.37.
On their way here now is Section 2 in the boys under 11 60 meters. Before you blink an eye, they're going to reach to the finishing line.
Running out of lane 4, Cougars under 11 sprinter Joel Diaz dominated his section's 60-meter dash, blazing the field in 8.94 seconds. Memphis Pioneers' Jason Grosvenor ran out of lane 3 in Section 5 of the U11 60 and finished second overall in 9.12 seconds. Another Cougars runner, Jameer Christian, was third in 9.29. And the Cougars continue to wrap up the points on day 1 in the girls under 13 60 meters. Naomi Phillip beating all comers in 8.24 seconds. Kelsey Roach, running out of lane 3 at the center of the pack, was second overall in 8.50. Her teammate Destiny Guevara was third in 8.70. Their teammate Petrinka Lazama finished fourth in 8.92. Memphis sprinter Jeremiah Kaiton in lane 1 put down the marker in the first boys under 13 60-meter race, finishing in 8.63. Cougars Zion Phillips in lane 2 finished second overall in 8.71. Pace and performance athlete Aidan Hackett won the second race and finished third overall, 1/100th of a second behind Phillips in 8.72. Next up, the Golden League heads to Tobago January 18th for the second of 4 preliminary meets. Jovan Ravello, CNC3 Sport.
Thanks so much, Jovan. Now, the holiday break seemed to have taken its toll on Wallerfield United as the East-West Corridor Football League resumed on Saturday. Having ended 2026 with 2 wins in 2, they failed to carry that form into the new year. Meanwhile, FC Porto Arima stormed from behind to defeat TT Ballers. Little did supporters at the Clayton Inns Recreation Ground Maloney know that FC Porto Arima and TT Ballers were about to deliver one of the games of the round upon resumption of the East-West Corridor Football League. The full moon can cause some strange things, like this defensive lapse leading to the game's opener, Tafari Johnson pouncing on the tentative pass by the Porto goalkeeper and crossing for Kadeem Hercules to put Ballers in front. It was a game not without its chances. Porto close here, but not close enough. However, the equalizer was worth the price of admission. Michael Darko with a simply irresistible volley. To start the second half, Aidan Maharaj conjured something just as outrageous, which put Porto ahead 2-1. Tevin Sutherland's nightmare in goal for the bowlers team almost got worse, but the offside flag came to his rescue just in the nick of time. He was replaced between the sticks, but in truth, there was not much any goalkeeper could do to stop Darko's double. 3-1 now to Porto. Nikel Orr's emphatic volley into the roof of the net ended a chaotic sequence and a chaotic match, but could not prevent TT bowlers from the 3-2 defeat to Porto Arima. Earlier at the same venue, Wallerfield United, with the splash of green in their kits, put their unbeaten record on the line against Eastern Connect FC. But they lost that record to an early and towering header scored by Kevin John, which turned out to be the lone item in the match and the winner for Eastern Connect, which isn't to say that Wallerfield was without chances to script a different outcome. In other results in the East Zone, AIA Santos beat St. Augustine Zouks 3-2 and Maracas United thumped Valley Boys 6-2. More from the East-West League in tomorrow's night's Sportscast. Regionally now, Guyana takes a big step toward its sporting future, and Grenada is 2 for 2 in the Women's T20 Championship.
Guyana is rolling out an ambitious plan to transform its sporting future. Minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, Stephen Jacobs, has unveiled a 5-year strategy focused on major infrastructure development across the country. The plan includes upgrades to facilities such as Anna Regina Stadium and Mackenzie Stadium. Flagship projects include a modern velodrome, a 15,000-seat indoor arena, a high-performance training center, and a National Cricket Academy at Albion. Jacobs says the initiative is about investing in youth, building talent, and positioning Guyana to compete on the global sporting stage. Grenada made it 2 wins in the Women's T20 Championships at the Arnos Vale Stadium with a dominant 9-wicket victory over St. Lucia in Match 3 earlier today. St. Lucia showed early promise through Ashlyn Edward, who knocked 34 runs off 52. But once that stand was broken, Grenada took full control. Chasing a target of 79, Afi Fletcher led the charge for Grenada with a brisk 28 runs, while Teresa Thomas finished unbeaten on 24, sealing the victory in just 8 overs. Samaki Felician, CNC3 Sport.
Now, Egypt and Nigeria are through to the quarterfinals of the 2025-2026 Africa Cup of Nations. Egypt needed extra time to banish surprise package Benin, while last year's runners-up Nigeria thrashed Mozambique.
Egypt are through to the African Cup of Nations 2025 quarterfinals after a 3-1 extra time win over Benin in a dramatic round of 16 clash. After a goalless first half, the breakthrough finally came in the 70th minute when Marwan Edsha put Egypt ahead. Benin hit back in the 83rd minute as Jodel Dussou leveled the scores to force the match into extra time. There, Egypt delivered when it mattered most. Yasser Ibrahim restored the lead with a powerful header in the 97th minute before Mohamed Salah sealed the win in the 120th, scoring his 3rd goal of the tournament. Egypt now advance to the quarterfinals, where they will face the winner of defending champions Ivory Coast versus Burkina Faso. Meanwhile, in the other round of 16 matchup, last year's runners-up Nigeria booked their place in the next round with a dominant 4-0 win over Mozambique. Ademola Lookman opened the scoring in the 20th minute before Victor Osimhen doubled the lead 5 minutes later to give Nigeria a 2-0 halftime advantage. Osimhen completed his brace early in the second half, and substitute Akor Adams wrapped up the victory with a goal in the 75th minute. The round of 16 continues tomorrow when Algeria faces the Democratic Republic of the Congo and defending champions Ivory Coast meet Burkina Faso. Samaki Felician, CNC3 Sport.
And now our sport high is a beauty straight out of Maloney. Trailing 1-0 and needing inspiration, FC Porto Arima turned to Michael Darko. With 2 clinical touches, the second better than the first, Darko sent it barreling into the back of the net and snatches tonight's CNC3 Sport High. Yeah, quite a lot happening on the first weekend of 2026. Football, some track and field. and it sets us up nicely for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, how many 5Ks are you guys running this year?
We're counting.
From 0.
Hopefully we make it to 1.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop 2021 Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958. Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
Get the best back-to-school specials at Southern Food Baskets. Anchor cheddar and vegetarian cheese, 250 grams, 2 for $44.95. Golden brand margarine, 227 grams, 3 for $19.95. Wings, 1 kg, $29.95. Protect soap, 3-pack, $18.95. Colgate Great Regular Flavor, 4 ounces, 2 for $29.95. Soft and Pretty bathroom tissue, 12-pack for $18.95. Offers available while stocks last.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Are you tired of the same old boring drive home from work? Look no further. Get ready for the ultimate after-work rush with Freedom 106.5 FM's The Overdrive with Davey. Mondays to Fridays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Let Davey take you on a thrilling ride of non-stop entertainment and education. He covers the topics of the day, delves into the latest food and lifestyle trends, and brings dynamic guests from exciting professions to share their professional stories and experiences. Take advantage of this energizing and engaging experience. Tune into Freedom 106.5 FM, Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for The Overdrive with Davey, the ultimate way to end your day with a bang.
Internationally, all but 4 states in the U.S. are at high or very high levels of flu activity. A new flu strain called subclade K is responsible for the spread. Subclade K began to spread after strains were chosen for this year's flu shots, which means flu vaccines likely only offer partial protection against it. In terms of severity, the number of people hospitalized due to the flu is not a standout, but doctor visits for flu symptoms haven't been this high since 1997. Montana, Vermont, South Dakota, and West Virginia are the only states reporting low or moderate levels of flu activity.
A rescue donkey in Georgia is said to be a Guinness World Record holder. Hope came from Arkansas, and she used to be extremely underweight and depressed. Her new owner, Hannah Frost, took Hope to a vet to get it checked out, and the doctor noticed her extremely long ears. The previous world record holder for longest ears on a donkey lives in the United Kingdom, with ears measuring just under 14 inches long. The vet measured Hope's ears, and they were nearly 16 inches long, which should be the Guinness World Record. Hope's owner still has some paperwork to do before Guinness makes it official, but she's looking forward to Hope winning the title.
I'd never think to measure a donkey's ear.
Me neither.
All right, well, it's time to recap our headlines. U.S. removal of Nicolas Maduro and his wife sparks regional concern as leaders question the legality and experts warn of serious fallout.
Meanwhile, Maduro and his wife plead not guilty in New York City as Delcy Rodriguez is sworn in as Venezuela's acting president.
In sport, teenaged TNT speedster Adian Racha is ready to spearhead the West Indies under-19s bowling attack at another World Cup.
And in the weather for tomorrow, mostly sunny conditions despite the very low chance of an isolated shower.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Rambley.
I'm Ryan Baitshu.
I am Jassy Marie.
And I'm Jean-Marc Rampersad. Have a good night.